What's up, YouTube? This is Brother Joe here with another video. I'm just going to do this one back to back. Had a testimony I want to give. I like this. I started this YouTube page mainly talking about end times and prophecies and rapture dreams. But I do want to throw in a few other things that I need to say. This is a video for all those who have contemplated suicide or those who have thoughts of just doing themselves harm. I want you to know that, I'm living proof that God can save you from that mindset. Make a long story short, it involves dealing with a young lady. I was in college and, liked her, and, always had these ups and downs when it comes to relationships. And I was at that point where I was just fed up. And I was just so fed up, and turned out after, I liked her, and I know she liked me to a certain degree, but she was in those situations where the ex-boyfriend tried to come back into the picture. But, fast forward a little bit, she wound up going back to him, and I was just totally devastated. And I was just so angry because I was angry with God. I mean, the one thing Satan would like for you to do is to blame all your problems on God. Like, if God was so powerful, he could have done this and done that. And it's just a lie, We're not here to make God do what we want him to do. But, I was just so fed up with not getting my prayers answered in that area. I just said it's hopeless. And I was in the third story of my dormitory, and they had like big windows. And, I was just sitting there. It was night. I was the only one in the dorm. And looking out the window, and I looked down. The window's still closed, but I looked down and I saw the concrete slab. And I promise you, and I'm not joking, I heard a voice come right from behind my ear here, my right ear. Says, "Why don't you just jump out the window?" Now, I just told you I'm the only one in this room, and I'm not crazy, even though some people may say it, but that's their business. But the voice told me to jump out the window, and I'm like, I didn't say that. And you know how you think in your head, you can kind of talk, and it's like all in your head. But this one was like totally outside of me. It's like I just heard a voice, like I'm talking to you, telling me to jump out the window. And right off the bat, I knew that was the devil. That was the enemy. I mean, who else would tell you to do something like that? And for all those people who are depressed or something like that, and they may say, oh, it's just my medication or this. No, Satan desires to destroy your testimony, to destroy your life, and then at the very end, he wants you to dead, basically. But I heard this voice in the back of my head saying, right behind me, jump out the window. And not only did it tell me to jump out the window, it told me how to do it to make sure I'll die. That'll be fatal. I don't want to just jump out the window and then all I do is just break my leg or arm or something like that, or wind up paralyzed. He wanted me to make sure that when I jump, that will be the end of it. And, it's only by the grace of God that, I was born into a family who loved the Lord, went to church. They weren't perfect, but that was the best environment you would want as a Christian. And immediately the Holy Spirit started reminding me about, you have got to let God handle this. You can't do this on your own. And he started to break those lies that Satan told me that I bought into, that he has a plan for me. He has someone for me. But he can't give that person to me if I'm dead. And he doesn't work on my timetable. And that's another thing he had to drill in my head. He doesn't work on your time. You have to trust him with that. And don't worry, if it's time for you to meet that person or whatever, he will not hesitate to send them. And I had to learn that the hard way. I'm married now with a 2-year-old son, and we have another child on the way. And, thanks be to God for that. But I'm just begging all you out there who have thought about suicide, don't listen. It's of the devil. He wants you to end your life. He don't want you to work for Jesus. He don't want you to be a testimony and witness for him. He's going to do all he can to take you out of the picture. If he can't have you, he'll try to take you out. But you have to know that God has a plan for your life. Why else would Satan be trying to get you to kill yourself if he's not afraid of what you're going to do when you hook up with Jesus? And, right now I'm doing a little ministry where I'm using my art to witness to people, to write calligraphy, write Bible verses to hand out to those who are the sick or in the hospital. And, and it feels good to be working for the Lord. But if I were taking my own life, none of this would be happening. And I mean, what about all the lives that you'll touch if you work for the Lord? And not only that, but if you take your own life, think about the people you're going to hurt. you're going to hurt a lot more people than you realize, and Satan doesn't want you to know that. He don't want you to think about that, because if you do, you most likely will not do it. So all of you out there who have thought about suicide or who are thinking it now, send me a message, comment or something. I'm more willing to help you, point you in the right direction, point you, scriptures that help me. But you have to realize it's of the devil, and God has a plan for your life. If you just hang in there, whatever trouble you're going through, just hang in there. God has got everything under His control, and if you're not saved, please get saved. That's the big one right there. You can't really claim the promises of God if you're not His child, so I highly recommend that you do that. Okay, well, be blessed. This is Brother Tim here, and I'll talk to you all later. God bless.